Surah Zoha first, inshallah. And would you please start then?
Yes, I have started it.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث.
صدق الله العلي العظيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. Please accept my condolences and tasliyat for the shahadat of our Holy Prophet, Imam Hassan alayhi salam.
Assalamu alaikum.
Sister Sarah is recording today, okay?
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
You can record as well if you can. Yes.
I think I'll check.
If it's only one person can record, I can stop it.
I won't be able to record it.
You won't be able. Okay, Sister Fazal, you carry on, please. Then.
Okay.
Oh, okay, thank you. Could you please mute your microphone?
Yes.
Because of echo. Sorry about that. Thank you.
Shall I mute it as well? Does that matter for the recording?
Yeah, it's okay. No problem. You can mute it because nothing to do with the microphone. Yeah.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Inshallah, we study Surah Zoha today. If you don't, if everybody can have a Quran in front of yourself, it's better so you can look at it. In fact, it's that requirement to look at it while you are listening. And hope you have studied the meanings as well and the surah. I apologize because of the last week I could not keep the class on. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Waz-Zuha. We have explained that before. Wherever in Quran Allah starts with Wav, it means Allah is making us. And here Waz-Zuha. What does Zuha mean? Zuha means the day when its brightness is maximum. So Allah is saying, I swear by the midday brightness. I make oath by the midday brightness. That time of the day which the brightness is in maximum. And we know that the midday, at midday is the brightness is maximum. وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى. And I make oath by the night when it covers with darkness. Sajawa in Arabic, it means that the darkness, when that time when night comes to its calmness. So that's the word when Arab people use for when they want to say night has reached to that point that is calm. It means that has reached to its maximum darkness. That time of the night. It's called Sajava. وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى. So Allah is swearing or making oath, making qasam by the maximum brightness of the day and the maximum darkness of the night. And we have explained that in Tadabbur, wherever Allah makes oath by something, there is relationship between these oaths and the content of Surah. So let's go on and see what's the relation in Surah Zuha. Ayat number, and I explained that in previous, we would divide Surah by different groups of ayat. Surah Zuha is the first surah that is from when Shaqaq, with which we started. I'm not talking about Surah, for example, Shaf, which we studied now. From Surah and Shaqaq up to here, if we go in order, Surah Zuha is the first one, which the whole surah is one group of ayat. We don't divide it. And the whole content is one group ayat, but different, and it looks like it's the whole surah is one paragraph, but different phrases in one paragraph. So we don't, it's not that we say that how many groups the ayats are according to Tadabbur course. Ayat number 3, مَا وَدَّعَكَ رَبُّكَ وَمَا قَلَى. Allah is telling Prophet, your Rabb has not abandoned you by not sending you his revelation, nor is he displeased with you. The atmosphere of Surah Zuha is for that time that the revelation of ayat was stopped for a while. And it is said, for example, it is related to the time of that time that people asked Prophet about the number of people of Ashab Kahf, how many people of the companion of the caves were, how many people they were. And because Prophet didn't know that, he told them, go and come back tomorrow, I'll let you know. And he was waiting for Allah to reveal ayats to him to get the answer. But it lasted 40 days. And so there was a while stop for revelation. And the atmosphere, which we are talking now in Surah Zuha, about that time. So you can imagine the environment now, the atmosphere. And when we carry on, you can understand the ayat better. What is Allah saying? After these two oaths, وَالضُّحَى وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى, which they were oaths, and qasam, ayat number 3, according to Tadabbur, which we say that, for example, when we have oaths, then we have answers for us. Like in normal conversations, when we make qasam, we make oath by something, the audience is waiting to hear our answer. For example, when we say that, for example, something which we don't say that normally, especially we don't think it is good, right in our religion that to make swear, but normally in conversation, the audience is waiting for the answer. What is the answer here? وَالضُّحَى وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى, ayat number 3 is the answer. مَا وَدَّعَكَ رَبُّكَ وَمَا قَلَى. Allah is telling to Prophet that I did not abandon you. I did not, by stopping revelation of ayats, by stopping wahy, I did not take the responsibility of prophethood from you, or I'm not angry. وَمَا قَلَى. I'm not. It's not that I'm not angry. I'm angry with you. No, it doesn't mean that. What wada'a in Arabic means announcing the termination of responsibility. Tawdi'. In Farsi we say that tawdi'. For example, we say when they want to terminate the responsibility of for example, somebody, and give the responsibility to somebody else, they say tawdi'. Wada'a, it means that wada'a ka. Ka is, the audience is Prophet, so ka is for that. Rabba ka. Again, Rab, your Rab. Ka means yours. So I did not abandon you by stopping wahy. Wama qala. And it doesn't mean I'm angry. It doesn't mean that I've terminated the responsibility of prophethood from you. So, but with two oaths Allah made, two qasams Allah made in Wazuha wal Layla Iza Saja, Allah is emphasizing that. Why? What was the necessity that Allah is emphasizing on this? Because Prophet was in the situation that he was worried that what happened, why Allah is not sending, is not revealing ayats of Quran to me, or what's going on. And imagine when Prophet is worried, then imagine his followers are worried as well, the believers, those people who were mu'min, who were believing, and they are worried as well. And from another side, the enemies are happy because they, as soon as they would make mistakes or they would act out of order, revelation were revealed and ayats were revealed, and their plan was falling apart. And as soon as they would do something, Prophet would say, "Qala Allah Ta'ala," and he would bring something against them or to stop them or correct them, and they would not like it. So they are happy now, the enemies. So the atmosphere is that Prophet is worried. Some people are doubtful, for even some of the believers, and then from another side, enemies are happy. So the atmosphere of the community is not good, it's heavy. When we talk about this, maybe if this question comes to our mind that, how come Prophet was worried? Isn't it a bad phrase we use that Prophet was worried? Because when we talk about Prophet, we think that, if he is worried, or this is not matched with his personality. So let me explain about Prophet's personality a little bit, and then we go back to Surah. Imagine the knowledge now we have got from Prophet, and how as much as we know Prophet now, our Prophet, that time it was not like that. People, because before that, just before Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam became Prophet, he was a normal young person, young man, and his job was taking sheep to, for example, mountains, and taking care of sheep, and he was one of the workers for Hazrat Khadija salamullah alayhi salam, salamullah alayha, which she was a businesswoman, and that was the only knowledge people had from him. That much the people knew him. So it was not like now that we think as Prophet, as a holy Prophet, that we think that, okay, he was innocent, smart, we believe in his innocence, and we believe that, we know and believe that whatever he would do and he would say, and even his silence was is a criteria for us, and it would not mislead us. This knowledge they did not have in that environment, in that atmosphere of the community at that time. So the Prophet would rely on Allah's support. Allah's support through Quran revelation was so important and supportive for him. So when it stopped, it was worrying. And then when we say he was worried, there is no conflict between his worriness and his innocent character. Because not always think that way, and we should know that Prophet for us is Prophet. But what is the relationship between Prophet and Allah? What we call him in our, when we recite tashahhud in our namaz, abduhu wa rasuluh. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Abduhu wa rasuluh. The first position for him is abd, that he is Allah's slave servant, abd, and then he is Rasul. He is his messenger. He is our prophet. So when we study Surah Zuha, always have this in mind, that relationship between Prophet and us yes, he is our leader, he is a prophet, and his high position and everything. His relationship with Allah is high position, but still he is his abd. He is, we can use the word slave or servant. So imagine this that in that way. Imagine Surah Zuha in that atmosphere. When we talk about these things, there is no conflict between his high position and what we are going through, that he was worried or all these things. And here it's good that especially because it's shahadat of Prophet as well. We talk about women. We mentioned Hazrat Khadija Salamullah alayha, that how she supported Prophet and how high position she had. She was the first business woman in Islam, and she spent all her wealth and property on the way of Allah. And still, when it was the time of her death, she asked Hazrat Zahra Salamullah alayha that can you ask your father to bury me in his own garment, his own qaba cloth? And she was even shy, but after those much support she gave to Prophet, she was still shy to ask something like this from Prophet, and she asked this through Hazrat Zahra Salamullah alayha. And she had a very important, very important role in our Prophet's life. And recite salawat for her, inshallah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajal farajah. Okay, now let's go back. So now it is clear that when we talk in different ayahs in Surah Zuha, have this in mind, so there will be no conflict. Even and Prophet and our imams, all, and they were responsible to act based on their worldly capabilities. So yes, they were capable of doing miracle, or their capability was so high, but they were not. That was just with the permission of Allah. We should always remember this. So it was not that they do everything based on their superpowers from Allah. No, it was just in cases which it was with the permission of Allah. In that case, they could use their knowledge, super knowledge, or super capabilities. Just I wanted you to have a view on it, because I knew maybe there will be questions when we study Surah Zuha. Okay, now let's see. Always in Tadabbur course, we investigate what's the relationship between oaths, qasam Allah has made, and the answer of qasam, answer of oath, or the content of surah. Allah is saying that if it's the day in the brightest time, or if it's night in its darkest time, is there any difference between my relationship with my people, with mankind? Does it mean that if it is day and if it's in brightest time, I'm happy with them, and when it turns to night and it everywhere is dark, does it mean that I'm angry with them? Of course not. So if revelation has stopped, it doesn't mean that I'm angry with you. And this revolution of day and night, this changing, this converting day and night, that's the requirement of perfection. When it becomes day, then night, day and night, yes, it is something normal for us, but in fact, the nature goes towards the perfection by day and night. Imagine just ourselves. If it's not night and we cannot rest properly, we will not have energy for the next day. So it is in every point, physically, mentally, or however you think, it is a progress towards perfection. So in every evolutionary sanctity, there is day and night. In every movement towards perfection, there is day and night. And by day and night, one meaning is day, night, brightness, and darkness. And one meaning of day and night means, for example, hardship or easy time. So Allah means that if the revolution if the revelation of ayat has stopped, it's an introduction towards your perfection, towards revelation perfection, and towards your responsibility of mission, your mission of prophethood. That is to progress that towards perfection. And it doesn't mean that I'm angry with that. And when we study the following ayat, it will be more clear for you. In ayat number 4, Allah is saying, وَلَلْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْأُولَى. The reward in the future will certainly be better for you than now, or the results in the future will certainly be better for you than past. Here, وَلَلْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ لَكَ مِنَ الْأُولَى. Akhirah, if the meaning comes, for example, in front of this world, Akhirah means the hereafter life. But here in this ayat, we have Akhirah in front of Ula. Here it's Ula, then here Akhirah means future. So it gets better as time goes on. Again, I've explained this many times, that if you go through different translations and different tafsirs, there are different meanings. You will face different meanings for the ayat, and we can't say that, oh, that is wrong. For example, if you see that in one of the translations they have translated here akhirat as hereafter life, ula as this world, it's not that we say, oh, it is wrong. Just it is when we compare these two, just a second, please. Sorry. So when we compare Akhirat and Ula together, here, according to Tadabbur, as I said that Tadabbur group, they have done research and they have extracted the meaning which is the most, they have chosen the meaning which is most adaptable with the whole content of Surah. That's what I want to say, that if you see that in some translations that they have translated Akhirat as hereafter life and Ula this world, it doesn't mean it is wrong. But according to the whole content of Surah, Allah is saying that, Prophet, don't worry, I'm not angry with you if I've stopped revelation, and it's towards the perfection of revelation of ayat, and it's towards the perfection of your mission, and the result in future will certainly be better. So it gets the revelation and the situation and your mission of prophethood will get better as time goes on. So don't worry. It is growing toward perfection. And if it's temporary stop, if revelation of the ayat is temporary stop, it is for the perfection of the mission of prophethood and revelation. And ayat number 5, وَلَسَوْفَ يُعْطِيكَ رَبُّكَ فَتَرْضَى. And verily, law, وَلَوْ سَوْفَ. Law is for emphasizing. Saufa in Arabic makes the verb for future present. The time of the word goes to future. Saufa yu'tika. So saufa makes it in future. Verily, your Rab will give you in a way that you will be happy in the future. It means that, for example, if you go through hardship and all these sufferings, from people. They blame you, or your Allah is um, angry with you, so he's not sending revelation to you. He doesn't talk to you, and all these sufferings. It takes you towards perfection, and Allah will reward you or will give you some results which will make you happier than before. You will see the results. Now, in ayat number 3, 4, ayat 3, 4, 5, Allah has explained, okay, after those making us emphasize that this stop for revelation was, what does it mean? Now, from ayat number 6 to number 8, Allah is bringing examples, is bringing proofs to show Prophet that don't worry. Allah is saying in number 6, ayat number 6, Alam yajidka yatiman fa'awa. Alam. When Hamza comes at the start, Hamza comes at it makes it question type. The sentence becomes question type. And Lam makes it negative. Lam yajidka. Did he not find you yatiman as an orphan? Fa'awa. Awa means refuge, and did not give you shelter, did not give you a refuge. And number 7, وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى. So if وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى, and did he not find you unaware and guided you? In number 8, ayat number 8, وَوَجَدَكَ عَائِلًا فَأَغْنَى, and did he not find you in need and made you self-sufficient or rich? Okay, there are some very important points in these 3 ayats. أَلَمْ يَجِدْكَ يَتِيمًا فَآوَى. We all know that Prophet lost his parents, even his father before his birth, and he lost his mother very soon, in very young age. So Allah is saying that, did Allah not find you as an orphan, fa'awa, and give you refuge, and didn't he support you? Didn't I support you when you were orphan in very early age? And didn't I support you by, for example, a very good grandfather or uncles, which they supported you, and he took care of you? So it's a proof that, so Allah wants to say that I have supported you in the past, so why are you worried now? Ayat number 7, it can bring lots of questions in your mind, because وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى. Zal means in the word of zal, if we want to face it just word-wise, one of the meaning is misled, which when we hear it, it's a question for us. What does it mean? Does it mean that Prophet was misled, was lost, and Allah guided him? Here, some of the translators, or in some tafsirs and all this, you can even see that they just to bring reasons for this, because they have translated it as misled. Then they see that it's not matched with Prophet personality. They just bring examples and different things. But the main thing and the most correct thing is that here Zal means unaware of legal laws and prophethood. It means that when you were not still prophet, you didn't know anything about Quran. That we know that our prophet, even in our ayats of Quran, is that he didn't know how to write and read and write. So you didn't know Quran, you didn't know the prophethood responsibility, you didn't know Islamic legal laws. So in that case, I found you unaware, and then I guided you. And another point is that um, guidance and being unaware, it has got different levels. For example, today we learned something about Surah Zoha. Yesterday or a few hours ago or 10 minutes ago, we didn't know this, so we were unaware of it. So now it means that we were we were misled, or we were unaware of it. For example, 10 minutes ago, but now we know it. So we have been guided. So guidance and being misled or whatever, it has got different levels. So if this, if by the translation of ayat number 7, this question comes to your mind, again, these are the answers that, yes, it means that Prophet was unaware of Quran and his legal Islamic laws and his prophethood mission, and Allah guided him through this. So Allah is reminding Prophet that, didn't I find you unaware and I guided you? So why are you worried now if the revelation has stopped for a few days? And remember, we have in mind that we should remember, have this in mind, this point, that when Allah talks to Prophet, Allah talks to his abd. Again, I'm saying this again, abd, to his servant. So when you study Quran, you may face some ayat which you can see that Allah has spoken to Prophet with anger, or he has blamed him. So it doesn't, there is no conflict with his high position. Some people, some of the translators, they have said that, oh, Allah is talking to Prophet this way to indirectly to transfer these to us. So he doesn't mean Prophet when he talks that way. But in fact, there is no conflict that if Allah talks to his abd, to his prophet like this. So we can't say that, oh, wherever Allah has spoken to Prophet like this, it was just because he wanted us to hear, mankind to hear it. No. So it's just because of this wrong imagination and wrong understanding we have from Prophet. So there is no conflict between his high position, his smart position, his innocent character, that is its own place, and nothing can destroy it, or there is no conflict. Then ayat number 8, Allah is saying, وَوَجَدَكَ عَائِلًا فَأَغْنَى. Another proof. Did he not find you in need and made you rich? What does it mean? A'il, maybe in Urdu you have as well. In Farsi we say, for example, ayalwar. When we say ayalwar means that person has got different people under his support. For example, the father of the house has got, for example, children, wife, or for example, parents to support, to feed them, to provide for their life. These are called ayal and a'il. So when we say a'il in Arabic, means that who has got different people who they wait for him to support them money wise, for food, knowledge, whatever. And what was Prophet's position? Because of his prophethood position, lots of people he had to support. So a'il here, when we say, if you see in translation that in need, doesn't it's different from miskin. Don't mix these two. Don't mix up these two. A'il, yes, in translation it is called in need or other words, but it doesn't. It's different with miskin. It doesn't mean that kind of need. It means that because of your situation, because of your position, a prophethood position, you had lots of people as your ummah, as your people to support them, and so you would need lots of support. فأغنى, and we supported you. We made you rich in that way. We supported you. So that is another proof. So why you are worried? So ayat number 6, 7, and 8, they are proof to Allah is bring proofs to prove what he said in ayat number 3 to 5. Allah is saying, okay, in ayat number 3, 4, 5, Allah said that this stop of revelation is for your perfection, for your prophethood perfection. Okay, what's the proof? Allah is saying, look back to your life. Whatever happened, what happened in your past life, I supported you. I wasn't angry with you, and step by step I supported you, and you became from an orphan child. Now you have progressed to a prophet. Wasn't you orphan, and I supported you? Now you have come to the position that I speak to you. Allah is telling Prophet that I speak to you directly with revelation, and you were not aware. You remember that you were unaware, and you would not receive any revelation, and then step by step you received more and more revelation of ayats, and more and more you found more and more followers, and by finding more followers you became AL, and I supported you. How? For example, one of the support was revelation of ayat. One was money wise, what was wealth of Hazrat Khadija salamullah alayha, which Allah, it was a blessing from Allah. And then khums, then zakat, and fall in Quran. We all did. I supported you money wise and knowledge wise. Right? What Prophet do as a young, normal young man before his prophethood? So you see that the steps of ayat, it doesn't separate. So we can't say that ayat 6, 7, 8 a second group. No, they are still following the same groups of ayat. So Allah is saying that go back, look at your life, so you will be calm and you will not be worried anymore. Then ayat number 9. فَأَمَّا الْيَتِيمَ فَلَا تَقْهَرْ. Allah is saying, so as for the orphan, do not oppress him. What does it mean? Again, maybe the word oppress is not very good, but because I try, in translations, I try not to bring any word from myself and choose the best words from available translations. So when Allah is saying, do not oppress him, means now you are in tough time, you are in the situation that the situation is tough for you. Don't be unaware of orphans. Don't leave them. Don't say that, oh, now because Allah is not supporting me, so because Allah is not in touch with me, so I forget orphan as well. Just be careful and take care of them. فَأَمَّا الْيَتِيمَ فَلَا تَقْهَرْ. And then ayat number 10, وَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ فَلَا تَنْهَرْ. And as for him who asks, do not reject him. Sa'il means ask. And again, in translation, you can see beggars and this, but what asking for any help, money-wise or another kind of help. As for him who asks, do not reject him. Why? Because I found you, I found you that time. You had lots of people to support. I supported you. And I wanted you as to be the middle between me and my people to support them. Now it's the night of, in fact, when the revelation is stopped, it means we can call it as night of revelation. Yeah, night, shab wahyi. We can say it's night of revelation because it is stopped. Still, keep on your mission. Carry on your mission of my prophet. Don't give up. If revelation has stopped, don't give up. Carry on your mission. How? By taking care of orphans and by not rejecting who asks Sa'il, who asks from you. Number 11, Allah is saying, وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ. What about the blessings of God? Express it to others. Again, this is confusing as well, which I explained. What does it mean? So if we compare these ayats, because according to Tadabbur, we said that Tadabbur is the root of Tadabbur is Dabara. In Arabic, Dabara means one after another. So it means that in ayats of one surah, when one ayat comes after another ayat, these are all connected. And we can clearly see, especially in Surah Zuha. Look at ayat number 6, please. Alam yajidka yatiman fa'awa. And then go to ayat number 9. فَأَمَّا الْيَتِيمَ فَلَا تَقْهَرْ. Okay? Compare these two. Now compare number 8 with 10. وَوَجَدَكَ عَائِلًا فَأَغْنَى وَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ فَلَا تَنْهَرْ. So Allah is comparing that, okay, we found you orphan, we helped you. Now, فَأَمَّا الْيَتِيمَ فَلَا تَقْهَرْ. So do not forget orphan now in your hard times, which revelation has stopped. And وَوَجَدَكَ عَائِلًا فَأَغْنَى. We found you عائل in need and supported you. And now وَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ فَلَا تَنْهَرْ. When somebody comes for something, don't reject it. What else if you compare ayat 6, 7, 8, and then 9, 10, 11, we see that 2 ayats are here is left if we compare this. And the order here is not in the same order. It happens sometimes in Quran. So it should, it shouldn't confuse us that, oh, if it's number 6, we compare ayat 6 with number 9. So we should definitely number 7 should be matched with number 10 and 8 should be matched with number 11. No, sometimes it happens and by the meaning we can understand it. So if we compare 6, 7, 8, I explain it again, so maybe it is confusing for you. I'm saying look at ayat number 6, 7, 8 and then 9, 10, 11. Compare these two groups ayats together. Number 6 is matched with number 9. Number 8 is matched with number 10. What are the 2 ayats left? Number 7, وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى, and number 11, وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ. These 2 are matched, are left. According to what Tadabbur group, they have done research a lot, they have come to the conclusion that these 2 ayats are matched and it is compatible with the whole guidance of surah, because in some translations and some tafsirs they have said when in ayat 11 Allah is saying وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ, about, for example, about the blessings of God, express it to others. It means that express all the blessings Allah mentioned in ayat number 6, 7, 8. Explain it to others. Then it comes to this question comes to the mind that in what was a prophet's responsibility and mission? Deliver the message of Allah to people, to guide them. Okay, did he need to explain to people continuously that, oh, I was an orphan, Allah supported me, I was in need, Allah supported me. Did he need that? Or Prophet's mission and prophethood responsibility is to transfer the message of Allah, which has been mentioned in ayat number 7. وَوَجَدَكَ ضَالًّا فَهَدَى. I found you unaware of Quran. We explained that here, ضَالًّا, it means that the Prophet wasn't misled. And it means that he was before his prophethood, he was unaware of Quran, of Islamic laws and his prophethood mission. And then Allah revealed ayats of Quran. So, and by matching 6, 7, 8 with 9, 10, 11, we can see that 6 is matched with 9, 8 is matched with 10, and just 7 and 11 are left. And these are matched together. So it means that when Allah in ayat 11 saying that about the blessings of God, express it to others, it means what express, what trans, hadith, fahadith. We have hadith, the word of hadith, for example, when we say hadith of Imam, what does it mean? Imam is talking to us about Islam. So what do I express? What do I hadith? What you were unaware of it. What you were, and Allah made you aware of it. What was it? Quran. What was your responsibility and mission? To transfer the message of Allah. So ayat number 11 means that express and transfer the message of Allah. What's the message of Allah? The message of Allah is ayats of Quran, which Prophet was responsible for it. Ayats of Quran and other and other things, because beside Quran, Allah would reveal some statements to Prophet as well, which is called Hadith Qudsi. We have maybe, I don't know what word you have got in order for it. Hadith Qudsi means that some statements from Allah which was revealed to Prophet other than besides Quran. Okay, so let's see. Now we have gone through Surah Zuha, so we know what does it mean. Let's see what is the benefit for us now. When we talk about day and night, it means that some up and down. Another word we can use, for example, is up and down. For example, so even in our life, in our daily life, we can feel that sometimes we are so motivated and we are so energetic to, for example, carry on life. We are so motivated to, for example, do our act according to Islam, for example, do our wajibat, conduct our wajibat, mustahab, helping poor people, helping others who they need it, and all this. These are, in fact, we can call it day of our soul. Yeah, I'm just bringing an example to match, because Quran is not just, Surah Zuha is not just wanted to explain us what happened that time and what Allah told Prophet. Because we are saying Quran is for all the time and all the people. So Allah, Allah wants to tell us that, okay, sometimes we are down. We feel that, oh, we don't have energy, we are not in mood of doing anything. Sometimes, and that's the time Shaitan comes in. If we don't know, if we are not aware of Surah Zuha, so Shaitan can take over us, that, oh, I'm not in mood to helping anybody, I'm not in mood to do any mustahabat, and even for wajibat, I don't have enough energy to do that. Allah is telling that, okay, these are, your soul has got day and night as well, up and down. What should we do? We should be careful according to Surah Zuha. Okay, when it is night for your soul, when you are down, you are not in mood, remember that فَأَمَّا الْيَتِيمَ فَلَا تَقْهَرْ وَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ فَلَا تَنْهَرْ وَأَمَّا رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ. What do? We should be careful. Be careful. Okay, if we can't do lots of mustahabat and all this, but okay, be careful. Don't forget helping others, helping poor people. Don't forget your tasks and duties towards Allah. These duties can be our responsibilities to our close relations, families, children, our, for example, partners, husbands, or opposite the husband and wife, and all these. So we should be careful when we are not in mood and it nights of our soul. We don't go back from where we are. Why? Because according to Surah Zuha, these day and night are process towards perfection. We learn this through Surah Zuha, that all these day and night and up and down in our soul is for to perfect and to grow up our souls to as for the perfection of our souls. And when we say perfection of our souls, we learn that in, for example, Surah Al-Shaqaq and other surahs, Surah Taj and all of surahs, that what was the mission of our soul? Going towards Allah and meeting Allah one day. So whatever we do here, and according to Surah Al-Fajr, for example, we learn that every second of our life is a test for us. So if we put all this together, means that, okay, if it's the day of your soul, you have progressed to, for example, level 3, for example, just as an example. You have health, you have done infaq, which we went through, and that we can see that in every surah we study, and all the ayat, infaq, which is giving away property and life in the cause of Allah, is the most important thing to prove our iman, our belief. If, for example, in the day of our soul, we have progressed to level 3, just the numbers is just as an example. We have progressed to level 3, and because we have helped, for example, others, and we have done our duties towards Allah, that went to that level, and then night also our souls happen. We are not in mood. Okay, if we let Shaitan take over, it can take us to level 1 or even level 0 or level minus. So we should be so careful that at least we keep ourselves in those times which are nights of our soul, which we are down, we keep our soul where we were. So we don't grade down. If we don't do that, if we take care of that, then it passes quickly. The night of our soul passes quickly, and we will progress to the next level. And when the day comes, at least because we haven't graded down, we can improve ourselves again from level 3 to level 4 to level 5. Again, somewhere night of soul happens. So we should be really careful about these up and it can happen by mood, it can happen by busy life, whatever, which can occupy our time and our mind. So we should always have in mind that every step in our life is part of our just travel towards Allah. And this life is not according to what we had in Surah 5, that قَدَّمْتُ لِحَيَاتِ. The word of hayat, which means life in Quran, has been used always for hereafter life, not this world. So this world, we can try to say just this world, even we cannot use the life. So we should be so careful according to Surah Zuha. We keep ourselves in when it's during the night of our souls, we keep ourselves at least in the same level we were before. So we don't rotate again and again and come back to the same level we were, or even we grade down. And another point for Surah Zuha in our life is that now our Imam Zaman is not present. So it means night. So night time for us in that case. So if now it is not according to Surah Zuha, the absence of our Imam, if it is night of our time, we should be careful. What is our, so we don't forget our duties. فوجدك فأما number 9 آية number 9 10 11 فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث. So at the night of our time, which our Imam is absent, we should be so aware of our duties, helping others, and I explained in our last session that if in fact giving away property and life in the cause of Allah is so important in Quran, and it has been advised in Quran, is not just because feeding of people. It's that Muslim people should become all rich, become strong, united to make the background for the presence of our Imam, and which his mission, our Imam is to complete the mission of Prophet. What was the mission of Prophet? To establish Islamic government, world Islamic government. And it did not happen during our Imam's times because of the situation of the people. And now, if we don't get ready for that, and when it is in our night, we don't get ready and we don't prepare ourselves and we don't act towards to prepare the base for that world Islamic organization, it will never happen. It can happen in very long. If thousands of years we have had absence of Imam, and Allah is not afraid of continuing it. There is no harm for him because he says that I can do. Again, we learn. The reason I'm explaining is that I want you to feel tadabbur, that how these surahs and ayahs we have learned are connected together. We learned that, for example, if Qawm Samud killed that she-sheep and did not obey the Quran, which was the miracle of their prophet, and Allah destroyed all of them, which they were leveled, and nobody could say even once they would exist. Now it can happen that it can continue like that. And we said that what happened to Imam Hussein alayhi salam, shahadat of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, that is our punishment, that we had this long absence of our Imam, because Allah sacrificed the complete human of himself, his representative on the earth. And so I want to say that if we don't be aware of our time, which is day, which is night in that way, and we don't be careful about how the way we live, it can last longer and longer and longer. Inshallah, that by learning Quran and using it in our life, in daily life, inshallah, we prepare the space for the presence of our Imam as soon as possible, and we can see, inshallah, we can see in our time, not in our next generation, inshallah, we can see in our lifetime in this world, the Islamic or the universal Islamic organization, and all we can see the destroyment of all these officers of US, Israel, and all the Mu'min people and all the Muslims people and all the world will be free and live in secure and safe, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.